A question that stopped me cold. What if the key to feeling 20 years younger is sitting in your grocery store right now, ignored in the vegetable aisle? Sounds crazy, right? But stay with me. Hey there, friends of living fully after 50. I'm Dr. Thomas, a doctor who's spent 30 years helping people just like you find their spark again. 5 years ago, a patient named Evelyn walked into my office, her hands trembling, her voice barely a whisper, and said, "Dr. Thomas, I'm scared I won't live to see my grandkids grow up." At 74, she was battling a body that felt like it was shutting down, high blood pressure, aching joints, a mind slipping into fog. That moment broke my heart, because I've seen that fear in so many of you, the fear of losing time, of missing out on life's joys, of fading away. Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered where your energy went? Felt your heart race with worry that your health is slipping through your fingers? If that hits home, this story is for you. Evelyn's journey with a simple glass of beet juice didn't just change her life, it might just change yours. And trust me, there's a twist in her story that'll leave you speechless. Before we dive in, drop a 1 in the comments if you've ever felt like Evelyn, or a 0 if you're skeptical. And let me know where you're watching from. Your stories keep this channel alive. Let's get started. The day Evelyn walked in. It was a gray November day in 2020 when Evelyn Harper, a retired nurse from Worcester, Massachusetts, shuffled into my clinic. Her blue eyes, once bright with the fire of someone who'd saved countless lives, were clouded with exhaustion. At 74, she carried the weight of a body that was failing her. Her blood pressure was a dangerous 165/100, even with 2 medications. Her knees screamed with arthritis, making her daily walks impossible. Worst of all, she confessed, "Dr. Thomas, I'm forgetting my own stories. I can't remember the names of my grandkids' friends. I'm terrified I'm losing who I am." As a doctor, I've heard these words too many times. They echo the deepest fear of so many seniors, the dread of losing independence, of becoming a stranger to yourself. Evelyn wasn't just a patient, she was every person who's ever sat across from me, yearning to feel alive again. We ran tests, adjusted her meds, but she stopped me mid-sentence. "No more pills, Dr. Thomas. I want something real, something that makes me feel like me again." Her voice cracked, and I felt it. A nurse who'd spent her life healing others was now begging for healing herself. That's when I thought of beet juice. I'd been studying its benefits for decades, poring over journals and watching patients transform. Beets, with their deep red hue, are packed with nitrates, betalains, vitamin C, and more compounds that can lower blood pressure, boost energy, and even sharpen the mind. I'd seen it work before, but Evelyn's desperation made this personal. I leaned forward and said, "Evelyn, let's try something simple. 1 cup of beet juice every morning for 30 days. No promises, but let's see what happens." She raised an eyebrow, a spark of her old fire flickering. "Beets? You're kidding, right. I wasn't. And what happened next changed everything. The power of beets, a doctor's perspective. Beets aren't just a vegetable, they're a lifeline. Over my 30 years as a doctor, I've seen how their nitrates, antioxidants, and nutrients can work wonders. Let me walk you through what they did for Evelyn, and why they could do the same for you. I'll weave in her story, plus a few others, to show you this isn't just science, it's real life. One, a heart that fights back. Evelyn's high blood pressure was a ticking time bomb. Every heartbeat was a struggle, her heart straining under the load. I explained that beets contain nitrates, which your body turns into nitric oxide, a molecule that acts like a key, unlocking your blood vessels to let blood flow freely. As the great philosopher Plato once said, we are twice armed if we fight with faith. For Evelyn, beet juice was her weapon, backed by science. A 2013 study in the Hypertension Journal found that 250 ml of beet juice daily, 1 cup, can lower blood pressure in hours, with lasting benefits over time. 2 weeks in, Evelyn came back, her eyes wide. Dr. Thomas, my blood pressure's down to 145/90. I haven't felt this light in years. She was walking to the mailbox without panting, something she hadn't done in months. The nitrates were relaxing her blood vessels, easing her heart's workload. But it wasn't just her blood pressure, beets were lowering her risk of heart disease and stroke. Betalains and flavonoids in beets reduced her LDL cholesterol while boosting HDL, and potassium helped balance her sodium levels, further stabilizing her blood pressure. Let me tell you about another patient, Mike, a 70-year-old Vietnam vet from Springfield. Mike had a heart scare that left him terrified of another attack. I suggested beet juice, and within a month, his cardiologist called me, stunned. His cholesterol's better, and he's biking again. Mike told me, "Doc, I feel like I've got my fight back." That's what beets can do, they give your heart a second chance. 2. Energy that defies age. Evelyn used to collapse on her couch by noon, too tired to enjoy her grandkids' visits. She missed their laughter, their games. I told her beets could change that. The nitrates boost oxygen delivery to your muscles, making every move feel easier. A 2010 study in the Journal of Applied Physiology showed athletes who drank beet juice could exercise 16% longer. But this isn't just for runners, it's for anyone who wants to feel young again. 3 weeks in, Evelyn called me, her voice trembling with excitement. "Dr. Thomas, I played hide and seek with my grandkids yesterday. I ran, and didn't crash afterward." She was floored, and so was I. The nitrates were fueling her muscles, giving her stamina she thought was gone forever. As Maya Angelou once said, life loves the liver of it. Evelyn was living again, and beets were her spark. Another patient, Doris, a 68-year-old from Cape Cod, had given up her knitting club because fatigue kept her home. After starting beet juice, she was back, knitting scarves and joking with friends. It's like I've got my old self back, she said. Beets weren't just boosting energy, they were bringing joy back to her days. A shocking twist, Evelyn's crisis. Here's where Evelyn's story takes a turn that stopped my heart. 4 weeks into her beet juice experiment, she didn't show up for her appointment. I called her, no answer. Worry not at me. Had I pushed her too far? Was beet juice too much for her fragile system? Finally, her daughter, Sarah, called me, her voice shaking. Dr. Thomas, Mom's in the hospital. Her urine was pink, and she panicked, thinking it was blood. She fainted from the stress. My stomach dropped. I rushed to the hospital, where Evelyn was sitting up in bed, looking sheepish. I'm okay, Dr. Thomas. I just got scared. It was beeturia, a harmless side effect where beta-lanes tint urine or stool red, affecting about 10 to 15% of people. I'd warned her, but the shock had overwhelmed her. We laughed, but it was a wake-up call. Beets are powerful, but they come with quirks. I told her to start with half a cup daily and monitor her body. Lesson learned, she said, smiling weakly. This scare wasn't the end, it was a turning point. Evelyn's hospital stay revealed something else. Her blood tests showed improved liver function, a sign beets were detoxifying her system. Her doctor was baffled, saying, "Whatever you're doing, keep it up." That moment lit a fire in Evelyn. She wasn't just surviving, she was fighting for her life. More ways beets changed Evelyn. Let's dive deeper into how beets transformed Evelyn's life, with stories from other patients to show this isn't a fluke. 3. A mind that remembers. Evelyn's biggest fear was losing her memories. She'd forget her grandkids' birthdays, the plot of her favorite novels. I explained that beets are brain food. Their nitrates increase blood flow to the frontal lobe, where memory, focus, and creativity live. A Journal of Gerontology study found that seniors drinking beet juice before exercise had better brain connectivity, like giving your mind a workout. 6 weeks in, Evelyn shared a moment that brought tears to my eyes. She'd joined a memoir writing class, something she'd avoided because she couldn't recall details. Dr. Thomas, I wrote a story about my first day as a nurse. I remembered every detail, the smell of antiseptic, the patient's smile. I cried writing it. Her mind was sharper, her confidence soaring. As Albert Einstein said, the important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. Beets were fueling Evelyn's curiosity again. Another patient, Frank, a 76-year-old from Salem, had stopped playing chess because he couldn't focus. After 2 months of beet juice, he was back at the board, beating his grandson. My brain's firing on all cylinders, he said. Beets aren't a cure for dementia, but they can keep your mind sharp. 4. Skin that tells a story. Evelyn wasn't vain, but she hated how her skin had dulled with age, dry, spotted, tired. Beets, I told her, are like a spa treatment from within. Their vitamin C boosts collagen, reducing wrinkles, while betalains detoxify for a vibrant glow. A Journal of Dermatological Science study shows beets' antioxidants protect against UV damage and pollutants. By week 8, Evelyn's daughter noticed. "Mom, you look radiant." Evelyn laughed, saying, "It's just beets, Sarah." Her skin was softer, her age spots fading. It wasn't just cosmetic, it was a sign her body was healing. I saw this with Betty, a 72-year-old from Plymouth. She'd spent a fortune on creams, but her skin stayed dry. After beet juice, she glowed, saying, "I feel like I'm aging backward." Beets were delivering oxygen and nutrients to her skin, proving beauty starts inside. 5. A gut that feels free. Evelyn struggled with bloating and constipation, which made her feel heavy. Beets' high fiber content acts like a gentle cleanse, preventing constipation and feeding gut bacteria. Betalains support liver function, aiding digestion. One day, Evelyn brought me a pie, grinning. "My stomach's happy, Dr. Thomas. No more bloating." Her digestion was smoother, her energy higher. Another patient, Ruth, a 69-year-old from Quincy, had IBS that kept her home. After beets, she was gardening again, saying, "My gut's finally on my side." Beets were giving her body a fresh start. 6. An immune system that fights. Evelyn caught every cold her grandkids brought home, which scared her. Beets' vitamin C, iron, and magnesium boost immunity, supporting white blood cells and oxygen delivery. By month 3, she hadn't been sick once, even during flu season. I saw this with George, a 73-year-old from Newton. He used to get pneumonia yearly. After beets, he made it through winter without a cough. "I'm tougher than I look," he joked. Beets were arming his body to fight. 7. A body free from pain. Evelyn's arthritis made mornings agony. Beets' betalains reduce inflammation, easing joint pain. A Journal of Cancer Prevention study also suggests betalains may lower cancer risk by fighting free radicals. Evelyn's knees hurt less, and she was walking again. Another patient, Helen, a 71-year-old dancer from Boston, had quit her passion due to pain. Beets brought her back to the studio, moving with ease. "I'm dancing my heart out," she said. Beets were giving her body a chance to heal. The second twist, Evelyn's triumph goes viral. Here's the moment that made Evelyn's story legendary. A year after starting beet juice, she was a new woman, blood pressure at 130/80, energy soaring, mind sharp. But life threw another curveball. Her grandson, Jake, a 20-year-old aspiring filmmaker, recorded her telling her story at a family barbecue. She stood in her garden, holding a glass of beet juice, saying, "I was fading away, but this drink gave me my life back. I'm proof you can live fully after 50." Jake posted it on YouTube, and it exploded 50,000 views in a week. Neighbors started calling her the Beet Juice Lady, and her local grocery store couldn't keep beets in stock. But the real shock came when Evelyn invited me to a community event she'd organized. Over 100 seniors gathered, sipping beet juice and sharing stories. One woman, Linda, said, "Evelyn inspired me. My blood pressure's down, and I'm hiking again." A man, Robert, added, "I'm sleeping better, thanks to beets." Evelyn's story wasn't just hers, it was sparking a movement. As Oprah Winfrey once said, the greatest discovery of all time is that a person can change his future by merely changing his attitude. Evelyn's attitude, her belief in a simple change, changed lives. How to make beet juice your ally. Evelyn's success came from doing it right. Here's how you can, based on my decades of guiding patients. Pick the best beets. Choose fresh, organic beets. Wash well, peel if the skin's tough, and chop small for blending. Blend with love, add water for smoothness. Mix in apples, carrots, or a pinch of ginger for flavor. Lemon adds zing. Time it right. Drink on an empty stomach in the morning for max absorption. For exercise, sip 2 to 3 hours before. Ease in. Start with half a cup daily to avoid beeturia or bloating. Work up to 1 cup. Check with your doc. If you have kidney issues, low blood pressure, or allergies, get clearance first. Evelyn's favorite recipe was beets, an apple, and a hint of ginger. She called it her sunrise tonic. Her friends started making it, and soon her book club was a beet juice fan club, laughing over the red-stained glasses. Lessons from Evelyn's journey. Evelyn's story taught me lessons I carry as a doctor and a human. 1 small steps win. 1 cup of beet juice changed Evelyn's life. You don't need big changes, just consistent ones. 2. Trust your body. Beets are powerful, but listen to your body. Start slow, stay safe. 3. Hope is power. Evelyn's hope drove her transformation. Believe you can feel better, it's possible. 4. Share your story. Evelyn's video inspired thousands. Your journey can lift others too. 5. Science meets soul. Beets work because of nitrates and beta-alanes, but the real magic is giving you back your life. Evelyn's still out there, sipping her beet juice, dancing with her grandkids, and living fully after 50. You can too. Try 1 cup a day for 30 days. Share your story in the comments, I am dying to hear it. If Evelyn's journey moved you, hit like, subscribe, and join our Living Fully After 50 family. What's one small change you'll make today? Let's talk below.